Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I know absolutely nothing about Australia. Zip, zero, nilch, nada, nothing. I know the Hemsworth brothers are from there, Steve Irwin, kangaroos, especially that video of that guy punching the kangaroo, and just beautiful beaches and like beautiful landscapes. I've never ever really gotten too much content from Australia, so I'm pumped to come in here and start learning as much as I can about this entire country and continent. I don't know which way I should refer to it, the country or a continent. It's both, right? All right, I'm rambling here. Let's check this out. We're doing 11 weird things I have never seen before coming to Australia. This is coming from the channel Living Simply Australia. And yeah, let's just dive straight into it. My name is Jacob. I'm your American friend that is discovering everything Australia. Smash the like button. Let's dive in.
In this video, we're going to talk about the weirdest things I found in Australia that I had never seen before. Let's get started.
She doesn't sound Australian. She's not American. Where's she from? Sounds Dutch, maybe? No.
The first thing is separate toilets and no bidets. In Australia, many houses are usually designed with the toilets separate from the main bathroom. So basically you have a little room just for the toilet and then a bathroom where you wash your hands, you have the mirror, the shower. And based on my research, historically, this was done for practical reasons, to allow one person to use the toilet while another uses the bathroom, etc. Another reason, of course, is hygiene and privacy. And again, this is something...
But they're in the same room, though. Like, you go into the bathroom, and then there's a door for the toilet, and then the rest of the bathroom is there, correct? Or is it two separate rooms? Because if it's two separate rooms, I've never heard of that before. We have that kind of in the States, though, where some of the bathrooms, I think I have a bathroom that has that. My master does.
Super surprising because in my country, I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and in my country, separate toilets don't exist. So when I first came here, especially I was living in a share house, and yeah, I found it very interesting, but at the same time, again, very practical, especially if you're living in a house with a lot of people, perhaps a big family with children. You don't have to wait for your turn to use the toilet. You just can go and then another person can have a shower in the separate bathroom. And another thing in relation to this, in relation to bathrooms and toilets, and this is something that I had first seen in the US, and then when I came to Australia again, it surprised me because it's not usual here either. It's bidets, or we call them bidet. Yeah, that was another huge difference. Bidets. In my country, Argentina, bidets are basically an essential part of the bathroom, and in many European countries, this is the case as well. But yeah, in Australia...
This is the weirdest bidet that I've ever seen in my life. Like, does the water go down your back? Like most bidets that I've seen, I haven't used one in probably 6 years, 7 years. They rarely ever come across a bidet in the States. But the water comes from up underneath and splashes your butthole. I don't know what this photo is. How do you use that? Do you just like squat? Oh, I don't even want to. All right, let's keep going.
Part of the bathroom, and in many European countries, this is the case as well. But yeah, in Australia, they don't exist. And I remember I was so surprised that I told my friends about it, and they were like, "Oh, that's disgusting. How come they don't have bidets?" Then I told my Aussie friends about the bidets, and they find disgusting the fact that we have bidets as well. So it's a very interesting cultural difference. And yeah, I don't know, it's something that caught my attention. The second thing that I found very weird is Vegemite. Aussies love their Vegemite, and again, this is one of the weirdest things that I've come across. And if you don't know what it is, this is a spread that is made of brewer's yeast extract, a byproduct of beer manufacturing, that you can put on a piece of toast, crackers, sandwiches. And I remember the first time that I tried Vegemite. It wasn't actually here in Australia, but it was 1 year before coming here. I was studying English with an Aussie teacher, and I remember that he brought Vegemite for me to try. And at the beginning, when I looked at it, I hadn't tried it yet. When I looked at it, I thought it was yummy because it reminded me of chocolate, right? Like if you see the color of Vegemite, it looks like Nutella. And then, of course, I gave it a try. He put it on a piece of toast. Basically, you have just to put a bit of butter, then a bit of Vegemite. And I tried it, and yeah, my face, it was basically lemon face. It was the weirdest thing that I had ever tried in my life.
I feel like I've heard of the term Vegemite before, but I've never seen like a container of it, and I've never seen anyone eat it. Interesting. I wonder if it's good for you because it's like yeast. So it's, what is it? Like there's like alive organisms inside of yeast. I don't know.
Now I like it. I don't eat it every day, but I do live with my Aussie partner, and Vegemite is
How
an
else are you supposed to
essential
eat it?
item in the house, in the fridge.
There's got to be other ways than instead of just putting it on a piece of toast, right? Like people use it for other instances, right?
And to give you an idea, it basically tastes very salty, kind of bitter as well. And an interesting fact as well is that Vegemite apparently was born in the 1920s in Melbourne, and it was an
born?
attempt to replicate the British Marmite, which I haven't tried. Please don't troll me, because when I read this interesting fact from my partner, he got very offended. So please don't blame it on me. This is on the internet. I don't know whether it is true or not. You can, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact that alcohol is sold separately. So you won't find alcohol in supermarkets. I remember the first time that I went to a supermarket getting a bottle of wine, and I spent at least 30 minutes going around just looking for the alcohol section, right? And I couldn't find it, and until I asked, and of course I realized that there was a bottle shop outside. Apparently,
yeah, we have this. I live in Tennessee, and we have that. Every state's different. I've lived in states where you could buy alcohol in the grocery store. Is it like this across the entire country of Australia, or is it like specific states or areas that are like this? I'm assuming it's the whole country, right?
this is a measure that they've taken to limit excessive alcohol
It's
drinking.
so silly.
As
They're like, you
I've
gotta
said
go to
in
the
other
store,
videos,
out,
Australia is known
right
for
out the
having a
door.
strong drinking culture, and that's why there are high taxes on alcohol. And also, it seems that that's the reason why they have separate bottle shops. Whereas in my country, in Argentina, as well as in many European countries, when you go to the supermarket, you'll always find the alcohol section right in there. We don't have separate bottle shops, so that's an interesting difference and something that now I've gotten used to it, but it's still a bit, I don't know, weird. Again, another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact that Australians place stuff that they don't want on the street outside their home. And this practice is called
Really?
rubbish collection. And most of these items are usually pieces of furniture or appliances that people put outside their homes for other people to come and pick them up, or for a truck to pick it up. So it's very interesting. And to be honest, many of these items are usually in really good shape. I know many people who basically make a living out of that. They go and collect, I don't know, a couch that perhaps is in good condition or just a bit dirty. They clean it up or they refurbish it, and then they sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and they...
I get it. I've done this before in the past. I guess it just depends where you live, right? I'm sure some neighborhoods would not want you putting stuff out on the street for someone else to pick up. I've seen it, though, even around the corner from where I live. I've never actually seen it in my neighborhood, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one, because in one instance, it's like, yeah, you want to put stuff out there that everyone can come and pick up and, you know, make use of. But at the same time, it kind of like is an eyesore. So
It made a lot of money.
I'm not too
So
sure.
perhaps it's a good business idea if you want to explore that. Another thing that I found very surprising when I first came to Australia is the fact that there are very, very hefty fines for putting your feet on public transport seats. And these fines actually go...
For putting your what on transport
thing that I
seats?
found very surprising when I first came to Australia is the fact that there are very, very hefty fines for putting your feet on public transport seats. And these fines actually go up to 288 Australian dollars.
Feet. Oh.
It's insane. And of course, it makes sense, right? I don't think anywhere in the world it's polite or respectful to put your feet on the seat, right? On the public transport seat where other people are going to sit. It's basic good manners. But I had never seen that they actually fine you for that, and such, again, hefty fines. So yeah, that's something that caught my attention.
Yeah, almost
Housewarming
$300?
parties.
That's like
Now, I
an
remember the
expensive
first
fine.
time that I was invited to a gathering here in Australia, and that was actually
party.
a housewarming party. And I remember when I got that invitation, I was a bit confused, because I was like, what is a housewarming party? I had to Google it, right? And I'm sure that housewarming parties are very normal in many countries, but at least not in mine. So again, for me, this was weird. And if you don't know what a housewarming party is, let me explain very quickly. This is basically a tradition where you invite your friends to come see your new home. Basically, when you move to a new house, you have a gathering with drinks, finger food, etc., and you show your friends your new place. That's basically...
I feel like this used to be a thing in the States, but not really anymore. Like, I haven't been to a housewarming party in over a decade. I mean, I've helped people move into a house. If you consider that the housewarming party, they buy pizza and give you a couple of beers. But yeah, we don't really do this anymore.
I feel that it's an excuse to just have a gathering and drink with your mates, and that's perfectly fine. I actually love housewarming parties, so much so that in my previous place, back in 2019, before the pandemic, I hosted a onesie housewarming party. We were 35 adults, all wearing onesies and having snacks, chatting, playing games. It was super fun, and since then, I love housewarming parties. So it was a pleasant surprise. Okay, let's talk about the healthcare system and doctors in Australia, because this is something that, as well, it really surprised me when I first came here. To be honest, I was a bit confused. Now, if you want to know about the healthcare system in Australia, I have a whole dedicated video about it. I think it's going to make your life easier. Now, in my country, in Argentina, and I know many European countries are exactly the same, when you have an ailment, when you're feeling sick, perhaps you have a tummy issue, you usually go to the specialist directly. You go to the gastroenterologist, right? That's the case in my country. Whereas here in Australia, your first point of contact is your GP, your general practitioner. Basically, a doctor that does general practice, and I'm not a specialist, but they do everything. It's general medicine. And then perhaps they're going to give you a prescription, refer you for x-rays, etc. Now, if your tummy ache gets worse over time and the issue doesn't get resolved, then your GP is going to refer you to a specialist. But your first point of contact here in Australia is a GP. Another example, if you have to go to the gynecologist and have a pap smear, here in Australia, again, you go to your GP first. Whereas in my country, you usually go to the gynecologist first, and you're going to have your own gynecologist, your specialist, and you have all the tests. The gynecologist does everything for you. Whereas here in Australia, you are going to go to the GP or a nurse, perhaps, and they're going to do that for you. Something interesting. Again, a huge difference. Again, another thing that really surprised.
That doesn't, I don't know. I don't go, I mean, my wife and my kids, we can go to like a holistic doctor. It's still an actual doctor, but I don't have too much knowledge on this. Healthcare is like such a weird, overdone system. I don't know. I have no comments on
healthcare. When I first came to Australia was Australian football or footy or Aussie rules or, it has so many names, AFL. Anyway, I remember the first time I was here, I got my apartment, I turned the TV on and there was a footy match going on. For me, it was a big surprise. And to be honest, at the time, I hadn't even heard about footy. It was a mix of rugby and soccer, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. It's basically neither. It's
like a mix between like cricket, rugby, and soccer. Like it's a round field. I have never seen this before. I have no idea what Australian football is. There's a lot of people on the field though. There's got to be like 30 people, more than that, like 40 people.
Rugby and soccer, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. It's basically neither. It's just a unique sport, very unique again to Australia. And
I gotta check
Aussies
this out.
Love it, especially here in Melbourne. Most of my Australian colleagues as well, they're super fans of Collingwood, Richmond, Essendon. It's very interesting. I've been to 2 footy matches. What I really liked is the family environment. It's very family oriented. Rivals can sit next to each other. There's no aggression. Well, at least in my opinion, when I compare it to the Argentinian team or when you compare it to England, they're much more, it's another kind of passion if you want. But here in Australia, it's more family oriented, and that's something that, I really appreciate and I do like. Another thing that's...
All right, I'm checking out Australian football. I got to see what this is all about. I love sports, so that is like right up my alley.
Surprised me about Australia is the fact that it's compulsory for school kids to always wear some protective hats outside. Of course, the reason for this is that Australia has some of the highest UV levels in the world. So it's a measure, again, that for me was surprising because when I was in school, I didn't have to wear a hat. It wasn't compulsory. But at the same time, it makes complete sense. So it's actually really, really good. And another thing in relation to the Australian school dress code, if you want, is the fact that school kids have to carry very big bags. So you see the little 7-year-old carrying a bag that is almost bigger than them. And I don't know, it's weird. In my uneducated opinion, and I'm not a health professional, I'm not a chiropractor, so I'm not sure. But in my opinion, carrying a lot of weight at that age probably poses some kind of risk for the kid's posture.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that can like mess up your back. I'm a little surprised by the hats. Is that like a common thing? Like, do a lot of schools, like kids in schools, wear hats? Sun hats? Sun protective hats? Or is it a little less common or like around certain times of the year? And I know your guys' seasons are flipped in the months. So the backpack thing, though, definitely is... I used to have a backpack when I went to school, and I used to have a backpack. Of course, I had a backpack, but it was very big. I remember having to carry so many books, and it did hurt my back, but I think I'm okay.
I'm not sure, and you can leave a comment if you know more about this. Growing up, in my case, all kids have the willy bags. We basically used that. So yeah, that was another thing that I found weird, surprising. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's interesting, I guess. Okay, another thing that I think it's weird, surprising, is the unique wildlife here in Australia. Of course, before coming here, you always hear about the kangaroos and the koalas, and these are very unique animals indeed. I don't think there are animals like these marsupials anywhere else in the world. But something that not many people know, and I include myself when I first came here, is that there are many more unique animals beyond the kangaroo and the koala. There are wallabies, quokkas, wombats. So every time I go hiking and every time I come across one of these animals, I find it very fascinating. It kind of tells you about the unique geography and diversity in Australia.
Yeah.
I know that the quokkas are unique, for example, to Western Australia. So yeah, it's very interesting. And to be honest, even when I see a kangaroo or a wallaby, I still get very excited. Even again, after so many years of living here, yeah, it's fascinating and it's very, very unique. And
seeing the wildlife in Australia would be a massive culture shock for me. I mean, in Tennessee, we have some wildlife. I used to live in California, so bears, deer, bobcats, that kind of stuff. Seeing some animals in Australia would really throw me off.
I think that really surprised me about Australia, and perhaps it shouldn't have, considering how important the beach lifestyle is for this country, is that they have a beach safety education program called NIPERS. This is basically a program where kids as young as 5 years old learn about beach safety and rescue techniques. So if you're at the beach at any coastal town in Australia, usually in the morning during weekends, you are probably going to come across all these kids being trained for the NIPERS program. Basically, being trained on life-saving techniques and, as I said, beach safety, etc. So yeah, it's something that I would have loved to be able to have when growing up. I find it amazing, and of course, again, this reflects the importance of knowing how to swim here in Australia.
Is it free for kids to do nippers? I think that's what she said it was. This looks absolutely beautiful. Where the hell is this at? Looks like it's at a hotel. Oh my gosh. Is it ocean water that's in the pool? How's she gonna go right over? She's talking about nippers. I'm like, look at this damn ocean pool. I don't even know what this contraption is. That is so cool. Holy cow.
Super important. That's the one skill
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Learn if you're seeking that beach lifestyle, I guess. What? So those are the things that I find interesting, surprising, weird about Australia.
There's another one.
A migrant. And yeah, let me know what's your opinion about them. If you have any surprising things that you've seen here.
All right, that was a nice little introduction into Australia. I feel like I've learned about a couple of things I had no idea even existed. Vegemite, peppers. What else was it? I want some clarification on the bathroom. Is it two separate rooms? Like two doors off of like a hallway, or is it just one door into the bathroom and then there's another door? Let me know in the comments. Other than that, you guys, I appreciate you watching and hopping in here. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, stick around. I got a video will probably come out at least every other day. We should have one, so hopefully we can bump it up to get a little bit more sometime in the future. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.